Green.
Hey guys, it's Shuttlesworm, and I'm back with the patch 4.4 notes for League of Legends. Let's jump right into things, shall we? Welcome to patch 4.4 patch notes. Last patch we hinted at long-term changes hitting the lab while we tackled the largest outliers in competitive play. This patch you'll see the first result of that labor as we bring out healthier and hopefully less banned rework Kassadin, who still embodies the theme of a mobile anti-magic assassin. Our big change is to Lichbane, as it was skewing a lot of champion power in unhealthy ways. Specifically, there were champions who have a lot of their power tied to Lichbane. We balanced them to compensate for the changes. And then there were the champions who like Lichbane for its high burst, low cooldown properties. High burst isn't unhealthy if it's timed and executed properly, but Lichbane was just a pile of damage for something you're already doing, and it came up much faster than other burst damage focused items like Deathfire Grasp. Hitting Lichbane means we can revisit certain champions in the future and maybe buff them up. We've already begun this process for a few of them, and you'll see them in this patch. Static is one of our designers going to go in depth on power curves, as in which champion is the strongest or weakest in the game. Later on to help explain some of our changes to champs like Kassadin and Elise, so stay tuned for that. The rundown here is that when champion power curves become too extreme, the champs decide the outcome of the game rather than the players themselves. Success in League of Legends should always be a combination of pre-game decisions and in-game execution. We want all players to have the opportunity to meaningfully outplay their opponents at each and every phase of the game, even if there are disadvantages, and champions who automatically win those phases just by showing up negates those philosophies. Now let's philosophy talk more patch talk.
I got hit by that silence a grand total
as we can
of
see,
How am I dying when nobody else is
rework,
dying when I have over 700
Kassadin, champion changes to a whole bunch, we'll go into that a little bit. Item changes to Lichbane, trinkets, Wriggle's Lantern, or the Wriggle's line, some minor bug changes and fixes, sauna spells, etc, etc.
I'm running Divine Star, so I'm trying.
Just, again, going from top to bottom here. LL Client. Continuing the work we did in patch 4.3, we've got some general cleanup and bug fixes. Game owners are now labeled as owner in the lobby invite panel.
Scope time.
Players can no longer accept invites while in matchmaking queue. Fix an issue where players who relogged with an old or with an on-hold invite, aka the lobby into champion select, experienced various issues preventing them from entering games. Fix an issue where the invite system could counted spectators when determining whether a custom lobby was full. And fix a reconnecting issue with players who started or restarted the client while spectating a custom game were stuck on a blank loading page upon relogging. All good changes right there. So next, Kassadin, I'm not going to read all of that wall of text. We're just going to go down the list. So general, visual, Kassadin's particles have been updated. His attack range has been upgraded from 125 to 150. His passive, Void Stone. It's a new utility. Kassadin now additionally ignores unit collision, and attack speed bonus went from bonus attack speed per magic damage reduced to no longer grants attack speed. Just no longer grants attack speed. His Q, Null Sphere. It's got a new utility, now additionally grants Kassadin a shield for 1.5 seconds that absorbs 40, 70, 100, 130, 160, plus 0.3 AP magic damage. And the utility no longer silences, instead interrupts channel spells. And the damage has been nerfed from 200 at max to 180 at max, with the scaling still being the same at 0.7. His W, Netherblade. Passive, Kassadin's basic attacks draw energy from the Void, dealing 20 plus 0.1 ability power bonus magic damage, and active, Kassadin charges his Netherblade, causing his basic attacks to deal 40, 65, 90, 115, 140 140 plus 0.6 AP bonus magic damage, and restore 4, 5, 6, 7, 8% of his missing mana. Increases to 20, 25, 30, 35, 40 against champions. Cooldown is 6 seconds, there's no mana cost, and utility resets Kassan's basic attack timer upon activation. So much like Shyvana's Q. In that it, resets the, attack timer. His E, Force Pulse. They nerfed the damage from being 240 max to 180, so overall a 60 damage nerf. Okay, it's not a huge thing. People have been saying nerf Kassan for a while, and I agree. And it still has the same scaling of 0.7 AP. Rift Walk, new on damage. It now does the same damage, but instead of it scaling off of AP, now scales off of 2% of your maximum mana. Stacking damage went from 50, 55, 60 to 45 or 40, 50, 60 plus 1% maximum mana per stack. New Rift Walking stacks cost 100 mana per stack. It now doubles its mana cost per stack. And utility, they took out the refund mana on hitting enemy champion. Cooldown, it went from 765 to 753, so that's a nice little buff. Mana cost is now 75 base. Maximum stacks went from 10 to 4, and stack duration went from 8 seconds to 12. So
what? I wasn't even casting.
I like these changes for Kassan, pretty well needed. Not gonna lie, he was pretty beastly before and kind of, pub stopper, but hey, I'm glad they changed him. Annie, or for just regular champions now without big reworks. For Annie, her Q disintegration reduces cooldown new utility reduces cooldown by half on all kills, whether it be champion or minion. And base damage has gone from 245 max to 220. AP ratio went from 0.7 to 0.8. Incinerate. Base damage went from 280 max to 250. And AP ratio went from 0.75 to 0.85. And Summon Tibbers went from 450 max to 425 max with an AP scaling of 0.8. Overall, not bad. It's a little nerf to Annie, not a huge one. She's still, is going to be very, very strong. Just, they nerfed her a little bit to compensate for the, Lichbane stuff, I would assume. Diana, Lichbane changes affect Diana pretty hard, so we're tweaking her numbers a little to make sure she still packs a punch. Her passive, Moon Silver Blade. Ability power ratio went from 0.6 to 0.8. Elise. They changed a lot of stuff about Elise, so I'll just read through it. I'm not going to read all this. Again, you guys can click the link in the description down below to read everything without me talking to you. Her Q, Neurotoxin. Damage went from 200 max to 180. Maximum percentage health damage versus monsters got cut in half pretty much at max from 300 to 150.
More, right, Josh?
And Q Venomous Bite. Damage went from 260 max to 220. And maximum percentage health damage versus monsters went from 300 to 150 as well. Her E, the Cocoon, stun duration went from 1.5 seconds at all ranks to 1.25, 1.5, 1.75, 2 seconds. So, slight nerf early game, but big buff, later game. Her E, Repel, cooldown went from 26, 24, 22, 20, 18 to 26, 23, 20, 17, 14. So, shorter cooldown for that, which is good. And her ultimate spider form, Spiderling health rough values went from 93 to 60 to 85 through 390. So that's pretty good. Spiderling health real values, that was rough values what I just read, went from 260 being max to 390. So
cooldowns in the same order.
Ezreal.
Just we don't have Nemo.
Q for Mystic Shot. Ability power ratio went up from 0.2 to 0.4. Phase, again, all these are tied into Lichbanes now, so Sea Stone Trident, active AP ratio for Sea Stone Trident went from 0.15 to 0.25.
Those
For
fucking bats
Heimerdinger,
are
his Q
impossible to
looks
deal
like got a change. And he also got a base movement speed upgrade from 335 to 340. And his Q, H28G evolution turrets. New utility, Heimerdinger now spawns with the maximum ammo count. New utility, turret health now scales with AP ratio.
You get to the fucking bats and
AP
then
at a ratio based on level.
Close.
It's a 0.05 flat AP ratio from levels 1 through 8. Increases by 0.035 per level from 9 through 18, ending at a 0.40 at level 18. So they get a little more health now. That's good. New utility for the turrets. Turret basic attacks now restore 1, 2, 3, 4, 5% of beam charge. That's depending on the level of the turret. And new utility. Cooldown went from cooldown reduction modifies beam cooldown to cooldown reduction no longer modifies beam cooldown. So they took that out. That's all. And Smart's turret AI is less reliable at less hitting minions unless Heimer himself has ordered the turret by attacking that minion. Kog'Maw. A couple of things have changed for him. His Q, Caustic Spittle. Target ability, now straight line skill shot. Armor and magic resist Shred went from a flat 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 to a percentage of 20, 22, 24, 26, 28. The range went from 625 to 1000. The base damage went from 60, 110, 160, 200, 260 to 80, 130, 180, 230, 280. And AP ratio went down from 0.7 to 0.5. His W Bio Arcane Barrage mana cost now has no mana cost, it was 50. And his Ultimate Living Artillery fixed tooltip to reflect the damage only to reflect only base damage is amplified versus champions. Nautilus, his Titan's Wrath, his W cooldown went from 20, 21, 19, 18 to 18 at all ranks, so nice buff early game, same thing late game. And bonus health ratio went from 10 to 15%. So nice little buff for Nautilus. Sivir.
Next
her
time
Q,
you're dead.
Boomerang Blade, damage loss per enemy hit went from 10 to 15%. Still a minimum of 40% damage. Her Ricochet mana cost went from 40 to 60. And Spell Shield mana restore went from 60, 75, 90, 105, 120 to 80, 95, 110, 125, 140. Skarner, his E, Fracture. Missile width went from 60 to 70. Missile speed from 1400 to 1500. Thresh, passive damnation. Soul despawn rate went from 15 seconds to 8 seconds. So now you have a lot shorter time to pick up those souls. Tristana, her Q Rapid Fire no longer has a cooldown. Twisted Fate, his W pick a card went from a 0.4 AP ratio to 0.5. And
normal. Hey, you just got yourself caught. You need to eat some
ratio
fucking food
to
yourself.
0.5, again tied to, Lichbane. Vi, her Q Vault Breaker. Minimum damage went from 170 being max to 150 being max, but the bonus AD went from 0.7 to 0.8 bonus AD, and maximum damage went from 340 to 300, and the bonus attack damage scaling went from 1.4 to 1.6. So a little buff, nice little workaround. It just means it's gonna hit harder the more AD Vi has, or overall, or bonus AD Vi has rather. And Assault and Battery cooldown went from 130, 100, 105 to 80 to 150, 115, 80 seconds. Knockback duration on secondary targets went from 0.5 seconds to a quarter of a second. Knockback distance on secondary targets went from 350 to 250. Minor changes and bug fixes. Font updates. We're switching our loading screen and in-game announcer fonts to a better recognizable font, stable font. We changed loading screen and in-game announcer fonts. Okay. Recall, attack and damage spells that hit a shielded target will now cancel a recall cast in progress, even if the shield is not broken by incoming damage. Jungle. We've gussied up health restoration particles when you kill large jungle monsters, now comes with a 100% extra swirl. Okay. Next we've got Fiora, Blade Waltz, bug fix for that. Fix a bug where Fiora would occasionally be locked out of flashing if Blade Waltz was interrupted. Karthus, passive Death Defied, bug fix for that. Fix a bug where that was causing Karthus to lose multipliers on Death Cap, Last Whisper, and Void Staff for varying amounts of time after becoming a zombie. Damn. I've actually experienced that, so glad they fixed that.
Move your portal more right,
LeBlanc, her Ethereal Chain. Fix a bug where Ethereal Chain could still root an enemy even if LeBlanc was out of range when the secondary effect procced. Lux, her ultimate Final Spark. New utility now displays a targeting circle when highlighting the ability. It wasn't that hard before, but okay. Quinn, passive Harrier, now displays as on cooldown when Valor is unable to mark targets on his own due to recently marking a target. Udyr, Bear Stance, fix a bug, fix a tooltip bug to reflect that Udyr can stun the same target once every 5 seconds, not 6. Vel'Koz, General, visuals, we've updated base Vel'Koz texture fidelity.
Don't be yelling at us no more.
Yorick, his Q, Omen of War, bug fix for this. Fix a bug where Yorick could permanently ignore unit collision after casting Omen of War. Oh lol. And his R, Omen of Death. Fix bug that was causing Omen of Death or Omen of Death's target to lose the multipliers on Death Cap, Last Whisper, and Void Staff for varying amounts of time after becoming a zombie. Okay. Lichbane. Overall here, we're lowering Lichbane's damage. Empowered damage went from deal 50 plus 0.75 magic damage, or 0.75 AP as magic damage, to deal 75% base AD plus 0.5 AP magic damage. So you're gonna hit for a lot less. Trinkets. Warding Totem, Sweeping Lens, and Scrying Orb. Start cooldown for all trinkets went from 90 seconds to 120. And swap cooldown for all trinkets went from 180 to 120 seconds. Wriggles line. Madrid's Razors now give attack speed rather than armor, and Wriggles Lantern now gives attack damage and a little more attack speed rather than armor and attack speed. Madrid's Razors, as we see right down here, the new recipe went from Cloth Armor plus Hunter's Machete plus 100 gold for a total of 700 to Dagger plus Hunter's Machete plus 50 gold. Total gold went from 700 to 750. New attack speed is 15% attack speed, no longer has armor, and the main went from basic attacks deal 60 bonus magic damage and restore 5 health on hit versus monsters, to basic attacks deal 60 bonus magic damage and restore 8 health on hit versus monsters. So 3 extra health per hit.
I would soulstone the healer.
Wriggles Lantern went from Madrid's Razors plus 2 daggers plus 150 gold for 1650 gold cost to Madrid's Razors plus Longsword plus Dagger plus 140 gold for a total combined cost of 1650. So combined cost hasn't changed on that. You now get 12 extra attack damage from Wriggles Lantern. Attack speed went from 25% to 30%. The armor's been removed. Passive gold bonus went from 40% increased gold for monsters to 30%. The passive main has been unchanged and active has been unchanged as well. Summoner spells. Teleport, new utility. Teleporting to an allied turret reduces the cooldown on teleport by 100 seconds. Total 200 second cooldown, 300 seconds if teleport is used on an object. Cancellation penalty. Canceling a teleport in progress reduces the cooldown of teleport to 50 seconds to 200. And graphic updates. Then we've got barrier particles and sound have been updated. Heal particles and sounds have been updated. Teleport particles and sound have been updated. Ignite particles updated. Ghost sound effect updated. And screenshots in the spells tab of your profile have been updated according to recent changes.
Dude, we have him at 36%.
For Twisted Tree Line and Crystal Scar, I'm not going to go through any of the Actually, I'll go through them because they're very, very short. For Twisted Tree Line, we've got Renekton. The Crocodile can be pretty overwhelming in 3s matches, so we're taking a little power off him. So his ultimate for Twisted Tree Line's getting nerfed from him getting 600 bonus health at max rank to 500, and damage per second's going down from 100 at max rank to 90. Overall 100 health nerf per level, and 10 damage nerf per level.
Watch the Yeti. Pay
Not bad, not bad. Syndra, her E is going from a cooldown of 18, 16.5, 15, 13.5, 12 seconds to 20, 18.5, 17, 15.5, 14 seconds. And her ult, Unleashed Power cooldown is going from 190, 80 to 120, 105, 90. Again, this is for Twisted Tree Line only. And now Crystal Scar, Talon, for Talon, his Q, Noxian Diplomacy, base damage is going from 30, 60, 90, 120, 150 to 30, 55, 80, 105, 130. And his ultimate, Shadow Assault, cooldown's going from 75, 65, 55 to 85, 75, 65. So again, this is for Crystal Scar only.
Yeah, he's fast.
And Thresh, passive Damnation, gains per soul collected, went from 1 soul equals 1 stack to 1 soul equals 4 stack. And his ultimate, the box, cooldown's going from 150, 140, 130 to 120, 110, 100 for Crystal Scar only. So yeah, guys, that's it. Again, if you want to read everything without me, reading it to you, click the link in the description down below. And if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you like the changes, let me know in the comment section down below, etc., etc. My name has been Shadowswarm. I've wasted too much of your time, and I will talk to you all later.